if you want to. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. No. Peace to the family. Peace to my comrades. And it's always smoke to the COINTELPRO boxing fan. We can freak it. Freak if you want to. So, family, salute, fam. Eric Jordan in the house. Eric Jordan in the house. Family, I'm not going to be long, but tomorrow I'm going to be doing a live pointing out what I'm about to briefly speak about. I knew that it wasn't going to be long before I had to get to work on these agents of chaos, these COINTELPRO boxing fans, race fans, and casuals. I knew when Bud Crawford did what he did, I knew that we weren't going to be able to enjoy it long before I had to get back to work and call out the hypocrites. I think it's amazing. I don't want this thing to go off talking about I'm copywriting. I just think that it is amazing how all of these so-called now progressive journalists and commentators in the sport of boxing are now praising Bud Crawford, are now praising the Black American boxing style. After almost 2 years of all of them in cahoots together to constantly disrespect those who portray what they're now talking about, they're trying to uplift. And of course, we fall for it every time. It's amazing to me. And I'm starting to realize that our people, talking to my tribe for a second, I'll address the other tribes in a minute. Salute. Hey, Ratchet since 91 in the house. This is for the family, so we're going to put this on subscribers only. Because it's a conversation that we clearly need to have as a black boxing fan base that the other tribes don't need to have because they're already in unity. How many memes or how many videos have you seen of Mexicans dragging Canelo? The only videos that I've seen them make are videos of them making fun of themselves on how sad they were that their man didn't come through. But nothing degrading him, nothing calling him out of his name, because they're in unity. Now, some of our people were in unity, especially in the building. This weekend, we were talking about how proud we were, how proud we are of Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford being recognized by the NFL. All of that is great. But we have some agents among us who, without the shadow of a doubt, I know they have a coon heart and a coon germ inside of them. They are spineless and they are gutless men and women. Hold that thought, family. Got a little bit of aloe vera juice. Because we're trying to stay hydrated, right? Gotta let that chill a little more. But now all of a sudden, they're telling me that the Black American ghetto child possesses the skill still to be the biggest threat in the sport of boxing. Now, let me show you all the hypocrisy in that. How can you all praise the so-called Black American style, but you all are the same people who have drug Devin Haney? Who drug Shakur Stevenson? Who drug Andre Ward? You all are the same exact people, but now y'all are with us. Now, I already knew that they were going to do this. I told you all, when it is no longer profitable to push the racist narratives that pin us against each other in the sport of boxing, they're going to go back to acting like they're our friend, and we fall for the crap every time. Every time we fall for the crap. I see people talking about, oh man, that's my boy right there. And listen, let me say this. I have heard our brother Tramp Side, our brother Drew Titan, our brother 78 Sports TV, all of the queens in the house, Queen Sugar Free Mars, Queen Shower, all of these truth tellers, Stormy B Man, who's constantly trying to tell y'all to wake up and open your eyes. But when a white man says it, now you Negroes go, oh, that's my boy. Oh, yes, Master Tom done came through from us. I told y'all he was good white folk. I told y'all he good white folk. Master Tom love us. Yes, Lord. Oh, Lord. Y'all make me sick, man. Things that you all were beefing with brothers about. Sean Zattel can come say the same exact thing, and y'all saying, man, I always knew Sean was a real one. Man, shout out to him. Sean doing what he needs to do to get to where he need to be. Y'all, though, you black, I don't want to get shadow banned again. Salute Sheriff Deputy in the house. So I'm going to try to talk in a way where I don't get shadow banned again. We got some Negroes among us in our community who are straight trash. They are some of the most spineless, compromising people on planet Earth. And I know it has to be something in their DNA, something in their blood. This ain't just psychological. This has to be something in them that makes them like that. Eric Jordan said, ain't falling for the hypocrisies, none since they 100 mad that Canelo lost. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Family, check this out. I went to a little town today that we call Little Mexico because I needed to get one of my tires fixed. Not just my tire fixed, one of my, that doesn't matter. I went over there to get my stuff fixed, right? And the shop that I stopped at, that I've been going to since I was 21 years old, the Mexicans who run the shop came out for the first time. One of them who never speaks dapped me up, said, man, hell of a fight. Do you know how good I felt to be a part of a tribe that rooted for the warrior that everybody out there was acknowledging did his thing? I felt good. But then I get home, get on Facebook, and let me tell you the post I see. One post, a brother crops out a small section of one of the rounds where Canelo hits Crawford, and he paints a whole narrative that Crawford was getting beat up and running. Now, Canelo said himself that the better man won. Why do you have to go out of your way as a black man to root against your brother? What is wrong with y'all? Honestly, what is wrong with you? I see another video. This video came out where they were with some NFL team. Someone with the camera is asking the players, who you got, Canelo or Crawford? Now, this is what's so disgusting. One of the white guys that comes down the hallway, who's a football player, says, hey, man, I don't know what these guys are talking about. I'm going for Crawford. a condo in the house representing the LDBC. God bless the mighty LDBC. But let me say this. The white man says, hey, man, Crawford's a bad dude. The brothers, listen, family, the brothers who are on the big, swole, muscle-bound brothers on this football team, this particular football team, they come in the camera, well, you know, man, I'm going for Canelo. I'm going for Canelo. I don't want to be on code. Even though everybody else is on code, I don't want to be. I'm going for Canelo. This is how you all look. And I promise you, if it was not for your status, if it was not for your money, man, our women wouldn't lay with y'all. Why would she want to lay with a spineless, gutless, culturally weak Negro like you? Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting what I'm saying. Then I see another post. Now check this out, family. Let me show you. This is a black woman that did this. A black woman. She took the body of Clarissa Shields, cropped her face, put it on a man's body, and did a face-off between Shields and Crawford. And this is what the woman wrote. She wrote, you know, Crawford did his thing, but leave it up to Shields to make it about her and blah, 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 blah. Just going on a whole rant about Shields. Then I see another post. These are black people, y'all. These are black people. We can't even enjoy our win without, and what's so scary about it is, family, these are not the truth tellers of the sport. A lot of us don't have a large following. But it's these guys with 50,000 followers, 100,000 followers, who people think represents us. So imagine what somebody else who is Mexican, who is from Ukraine, who is of Asian descent, them seeing this and saying, damn, they really do hate each other. Their brother just did something amazing, and they're sitting up here hating on them. What kind of people is this? And I gotta be honest with y'all. Some black folk not gonna like what I'm about to say, but guess what? If I'm from another race, from the outside looking in, I would have to say, those people are a self-hating group of people because they're not seeing us. They're not seeing us. And every time we try to have unity, you have 5, 10 coons come behind us messing it up. This is why Harriet Tubman said, I knew that I had to unalive some of my own to get the others free. This is why Nat Turner said, I had to unalive those who didn't raise their hand, saying they wanted to be free. Because they don't understand what unity is. So I got to call out the coon first. I have to call out the Sambo first. Now let me call out some of these of the Caucasian persuasion in the mainstream media. Oh, y'all thought y'all were going to be free from this? Oh no, I got to address y'all. See, y'all are right next to the Sambos. See, the Sambos I have to address first because they're from my tribe. I have to address them first because they know better and try to act like they don't. That's why I love when they get their wake-up call. Eric Jordan says, Bud Crawford showed the truth of FAFO that he's the real ninja because the ninja's sword never makes no mistakes. Heavyweight. Bud made history and accomplishments. What he had in front of him. Now, family, I know I read that slow. There's a glare on my phone, and I got these shades on. Would have been helpful if I took the shades off. But let me talk to the mainstream busters. You all are hypocrites, And tomorrow, when I drop my live, I'm calling you out. You all are the same people that dragged Devin Haney when he was cheated against. But now, you all are sitting up here trying to convince people that you care about the integrity of the sport. You don't give a damn about the integrity of the sport. And that's cap. And you have to be called out. Some people are afraid to call you out. But not me. Not me. Let me show you a hypocrite. Let me show you how a hypocrite works. I'm gonna come sit over here because the sun's coming out and it's getting hot. It's supposed to be almost fall now. But this weather's so crazy these days. Ugh. This weather is so crazy. But let me say this, family. You cannot be double-minded and double-tongued. You cannot be double-minded and double-tongued. Let me make it plain for you. You can't be against us. You can't be, I'm in Georgia. You can't be against us. And then when it is beneficial to you, now all of a sudden you give a damn about the sport of boxing. Now you're praising Black American slick fighters. Family, I don't know if everybody bumped their head over the weekend, but do you all not remember, not even a month ago, they were calling us runners? Do you all not remember a month ago, they were putting the title of runners, yellow, cowardly, unwarrior-like on top black fighters? Is it just me? Am I in the Twilight Zone? Do you all not remember that? Y'all tell me in the chat if I'm tripping. Were they not just saying that about us a month ago? So Bud Crawford puts on a great performance, and Billy Martinez puts on a great performance. Cool. That's why I see Canelo fighting next. But anyway, I could see Canelo fighting in Billy. Because if Billy doesn't know how to adapt the way he did with versus Martinez, Canelo could get him. But that might be another topic. D-Man Jr. said, yes, they did. I remember. Akando said they still say it. Now, with that being said, if they were just saying that about us, what are y'all talking about? All of this, the ghetto black kid from, from the struggle when they put their mind to it. First of all, we got to stop that there. See, this is why it's so dangerous. It is so dangerous to let other people tell your story. You do not have to be from the ghetto to be great in the sport of boxing. That is a myth. I wish they would stop saying it. Your trials and tribulations can shape you in a way. But if you have a strong foundation as a man and something to believe in, that is enough. Ali wasn't no hood dude. Let me say it again. Who we call our GOAT in the sport was not a hood dude. He grew up with a mother and a father. He wasn't in the hood, but guess what? He stood up for his morals and principles, and that was enough. Based off of his morals and principles, he said, all I want to do is fight, get this money, help my people, and serve my God. That's Ali talking. So don't come up here talking to me about, Master Tom said that, we good peoples now. So the fight must be over. Oh, come on, y'all. What are y'all doing? I just, family, I'm still happy. Don't get it twisted. I'm happy about what Crawford did. But I guess I was living in a fantasy world because I thought it was going to be at least a week or two before I saw some cooning. Family, it is Tuesday. It is Tuesday. The fight was Saturday. What is going on already? Y'all couldn't wait? Eric Jordan said the facts with Bud and Canelo was that Bud fought much better competition than Canelo, and it truly showed. What's wrong with us, y'all? It ain't even been a week. Do some of you brothers feel, and some of you sisters who are also cooning, I'm starting to see it more and more now. Do you all feel that you're going to get a seat at the table? Salute, Andrew 100 in the house. You are never going to get a seat at somebody else's table when the people at the other table know how to be on code with their people and they see you knowing that you're a Judas. Think about it, family. This is you can call it spiritual, you can call it business. In business, if I see you do somebody else dirty, why would I want to do business with you? If I see you betray Jesus, why would I want you around me when all he did was love you? Dark Kent said, bro, how you scored the fight? I did my score I actually rescored it this morning. I only gave Canelo round 3. Round 3 is the only round I gave Canelo. I thought it was closer at first doing the eye test, but when I went back judging it 10 for 10, there is no round, but it's only round 3 where Canelo, I would have gave it either a 10-9 or even some people with a 10-8. And people have to qualify what they're saying. This is why I say that. Somebody yesterday came in the chat and said, you know, I asked everybody in the chat, and it was about 200 people in the chat. 5,000 people viewed that video. So we had a few thousand people come through that live. I asked the question and I said, all right, y'all, what rounds did you all give to Canelo? And that started a civil war in the chat. One guy said 11. I went through round 11 on my live this morning. That was a damn lie. Round 11 was a 10-8 round for Crawford. Somebody said it was 11, it was 6, I believe 8, 9, and 3. We went through every round, and I did a blow-by-blow pause. I did a hit-by-hit recount. And not only that, I kept saying unanswered. So anytime there was too much space going on, I said, all right, Canelo's taking too long to answer back. Now, if you can't break down the rounds like that, we don't even need to go back and forth about what rounds was what. And I did timestamps as well. So like at 56 seconds of round 3, Canelo hits Crawford with a nice combination ending with a right hand. From 56 seconds to almost 30 seconds of that round, Crawford has no answer. You know, so I only can give Canelo round 3. Now, a caveat to that is we didn't go over round 1, 2, or 4 because everybody in the chat said that those rounds were even. But yeah, y'all, Canelo, and a lot of what I realized is a lot of people that were saying that don't even understand the 10-point system. When I started talking about 10, 10-9, 10-8, 10-7, people were like, well, coach, what are you talking about? And it's okay because the only reason why I know it is because I did this, for a living. Before I got into boxing like that, matter of fact, when I was a journeyman, 19 years old, I thought the amateurs was only scored like that. I didn't know that professional boxing was scored that way. But, it's cool, family. For those of you who don't know the 10-point system, learn it. And it'll help you bet as well. Moving forward, it will help you bet. You all go back and watch round 3. And I want you to understand you can't just go off of effective aggressiveness and you can't just go off of offense. You have to go off the 4 teachable moment. You have to go off the 4 criterias of boxing professional bouts. But let me go back and stay on topic. I watched people drag our content creators over the last year addressing the hypocrisies of people hating on Devin Haney, people hating on Shakur, their fighting style. And now that it's no longer profitable to push a Ryan Garcia, now that it's no longer profitable to push a Teofimo Lopez and the racist propaganda that was going on, now y'all let these folks right back in our face like they cool. See, I can't. That's why, family, I just can't rock with some folks. Because I know if you move like that in this space, you move like that in real life. I don't care what nobody say. If you move like that in these spaces, I know in real life that's how you move. Now let me point something else out, family. Where are all these guys who were in all these chats saying that, well, I really want Crawford to win, but I'm going for Canelo? How come I ain't seen you dudes? I ain't seen you dudes since Friday. I ain't seen y'all since Friday morning. Where the hell y'all at? You all are liars. You all are Judas pieces of shit. You're liars. You're culturally spineless, weak black men. And you're spineless. Straight up. I got to call it how it is. Because if it was true that that's how you really felt, you all would be in these chats. All of you would be in these chats saying, man, he did it. I ain't seen none of you. Yeah, I ain't seen none of you. And you know who you are. See, let me say this. And I have to give a shout out to the nation. One thing that brothers in the hood, brothers, period, taught me from the nation, whether Orthodox Muslims or Nation of Islam Muslims, let me just tell you real quick what they taught me. Because when I was younger, I was on some, what they say, like YN type of time. That's the type of time I was on. Them brothers taught me that it's not my job to go through this world trying to tear down my brother. So it's a lot of times I really could verbally just destroy a brother, but some of these brothers, this is how they make their money. Some of these brothers, this is literally how they survive. So what I try to do is I try to paint a picture so a brother will wake up on his own a lot of times. And I never go on a campaign of dragging another brother when I could. I could have easily built a whole channel off of trying to drag the brother Najee when he had the interview with Ryan. I didn't do that. That's a black man. And guess what? Can't nobody tell me to go to war with my brother. And when my brother stood up to Tio, I told Najee, when you need my help, I got you. I said, when you need my help, I got you. In that situation, I believe he needed my help. See, let me tell y'all, man. Negroes be wanting grace by everybody else. They want to have grace. But when a brother messes up, they want you to drag them. My spiritual guide, one of them told me, you defend your brothers. Even in their apparent wrong, in front of everybody else, you defend them. Pull them to the side if there is a transgression. Pull them to the side if there is an issue. You don't get on national TV in front of the enemy of all of us in war with your brother. That's not what I do. But I'm going to say this. Some of you brothers who said that you want Crawford to win, but you think Canelo's going to win, where have y'all been? I haven't seen a lot of you since last week. So that lets me know that you have the spirit of Judas in you. That lets me know you have a COINTELPRO agent spirit inside of you. And you can't be trusted. You can't be trusted. I got to call it like it is. I'm not gonna give y'all everything right now, cause tomorrow I'm gonna go live about this, where I can pull up some interviews, so can't nobody say I'm lying. Yeah, I'm gonna pull up some interviews. Wait a minute, who remembers the grand arrival? Let's talk about that real quick. Who remembers the grand arrival when Crawford first got there, and they were talking all of that shit about Crawford, are you going to run? Crawford, are you ready to feel the power? Crawford, are you going to be a coward in the ring? Who remembers that? Who remembers all of these? You know what? Let me show y'all something real quick. Let me show you a hypocrite real quick, cause I can't get off these mainstream liars. I can't even call them journalists. They're liars, agents of chaos. Watch this. All of these guys who were allowed to have the press pass, who have platforms, who are on YouTube. Now, I want somebody in the chat to tell me any name that comes to your mind that you've seen out there now saying, praising us, that they were doing it the last year, the last 2 years. These guys who are now saying and praising Black American boxing. I didn't see that when you all were interviewing guys and dragging Devin Haney. You all were on the same lynching tour as everybody else, because you thought it was going to be profitable. You thought that you were going to make money from doing it. See? These are liars, y'all. And you know what? Some of y'all are going to have your feelings hurt, because this is what I realized. And let me tell y'all something about Coach. And you can look it up. You can look it up. All right. Whether it was my gyms that I ran, that I opened up with my own money, with no help from the government, whether it was when I got out the military, I've had positions. I've been offered chances to sell my soul. I've been offered chances to make 6 figures as long as I be quiet, because my voice is strong, because of the way I make people critically think. It is a weapon. See, I've been in those seats, and I stood up like a man and said, nah, I'd rather take lesser pay than to sell my soul. So we have to have people in these spaces, and we have to have people in those rooms. And the reason why we need that balance is, once you get in certain rooms and you are around that energy, you can't just behave however you want. And this is what I mean. Those of you who see, you see the president and the Joint Chiefs of Staff, they act one way here in America, right? When it comes to the policies, the social norms. But when they go over to China, when they go over to when they have a UN meeting, or they go over to Europe, they act diplomatic, okay? But they don't bow down. See, that's the difference. You can be diplomatic without bowing down. You can be diplomatic without compromising yourself. And this is what's happening. A lot of you content creators who are from our community, you are either trying to bow down before you even get there to get a check, or once you get there and you get around that money, then you know what you do. No lube, no Vaseline. Give it to me, baby. Y'all know what you do. All right. So I understand. Coach ain't stupid. I understand it's check, not checkers. Some of you are going to have to be in these rooms and be diplomatic, but you don't have to fold. You don't have to bend. But some of us need to stay in these spaces. See, Coach ain't no journalist. Let me be very clear on what and who I am. Number one, the only reason why Coach got a channel is because of our brother Drew Titan. That's the only reason why. Drew Titan is the one who convinced me to do a channel. I kept telling anybody who's been rocking with me from the beginning, I told a couple people, no, I'm not making a channel. I just like rocking out with y'all. But then when I started seeing all of the spineless, I'm going to tell you, this is the reason too. When I started seeing how they were dragging certain fighters, salute Delano in the house. When I started seeing how they were dragging certain fighters, I said, all right, it's time for me to get in this. It's time for me to get in this. Now, I have some good news. This is the reason why I'm saying this. I'm not going mainstream. Never. I'm comfortable. I make enough money where I'm good. If I want to go to a fight, I can buy the ticket and go myself. Have my phone just like this in the crowd. You know, I can get close up to the commentators and act like I'm in there with them. I don't have to sell my soul. And I never have. I never have. Even when I worked in the prison, I could have took money and turned the cheek. But I never did that. Because that's the kind of character I have. I ain't perfect. Let me say that now. I ain't perfect. I've made mistakes in my life. But there has to be a boundary with you as a man. At some point, there has to be a line that people just can't cross. And I refuse to sell my soul so you can keep propaganda going. Now, I'm not gonna give it all to y'all right now. All what I need to say. But I'm gonna say this. If you all keep allowing people to come among you and use you as a stepping stone, that's on you, man. That's on you. Radio Raheem has been putting in work independently for years. Who are they talking about right now, y'all? Are they talking about Radio Raheem that was, asking questions to Crawford? Or are they talking about Sean Tatel, who Radio Raheem was giving a shout out to? See, y'all don't. I might have to write a book. I might have to write a book on y'all Stockholm syndrome. It's like y'all don't understand the way this thing works. You think this was some of y'all think. You think that if you give a shout out to somebody that should be and welcome to the good old boy system, you think that if you give a shout out, they're gonna welcome you? You really think they give a man, family, let me show you all how much they don't give a damn. As great as Teddy Atlas is, who is a white man, and in my opinion, sometimes, sure, he might be a little biased, but the only time he's biased is when you ask him a question about, well, who's the greatest such and such, and he throws his own in there, but that's him being on code with his people. But as far as a commentator and a trainer, Teddy Atlas is 10 times. He's 10 times better than who they keep putting up there. This is what I would have did. Because let me tell you what people are saying now. They're saying, what was up with the chemistry between Ward, Max, and John, the guy from the UFC who was doing the hit-by-hit commentary? I'm going to tell you what happened. In the beginning, and from the beginning of the event, you could see the frustration in Ward's face. Ward was sick of Max. Ward was tired of Max Kellerman's shit. So you got Ward, because every time Ward says something in the beginning to about round 5 or 6, and even before that, even when Billy Martinez was fighting, when Walsh and man, Vargas, I'm having a brain fart, need some B12. So when they were coming out, Max was already getting on Andre Ward's nerves. So when you have two boxing commentators that really don't fool with each other, and then you have the UFC commentator who's handling both of them, go look at the clip where he's trying to talk to Max and Ward, and they're just trying to give him the shoulder, and he's like, "Hey man, you guys can look at me. I'm talking to you." I'm sorry, y'all. That looked bad. That looked bad on boxing. That looked like amateur hour. So what should have happened? Teddy Atlas should have been at the main table. Max, what a slap in the face. And you all know what this is all about. The only reason why they do Teddy like that is because what fight was that? Teddy said that shit that pissed him off. Oh man, somebody in the chat help me. What fight was that? Teddy Atlas had said something along the lines of was it Lomachenko he said? Wasn't man. I got it, family. I gotta get that B12. I'm having brain farts all day. Man, I can't remember, but family, there was a Teddy Atlas used to be regular up there. There was something he said that went against the grain, and he wasn't there anymore. And for those of you who think I'm BSing, who was the commentator that said Boots looked like the Matrix when Boots was fighting Stanionis? They have put his ass. He used to be a fighter. Patrice X said only white audacity will make Max think he can correct a legend like Ward, who's actually fought in the ring. Let me tell you, man. Larry Merchant and Roy used to get into it all the time. See, and that type of stuff turns people who want to watch the sport off. It turns them off. Larry Merchant used to talk to Roy Jones crazy. That's Roy Jones. But because they read a book, because they are a spectator of the sport, they get this superiority complex that's just it's in them. And they say, I don't care if this nigga fought before. I'm talking. I know what I'm talking about. Larry Merchant does it. Jim Lampley does it. Jim Gray does it. Jim Gray was almost terrified to say that earlier he was rooting for Crawford. That's why I was speaking about the grand arrival. So, Dark Kent, there was a commentator when Boots had hit. Thank you, Patrice X, my brother. Who remembers when Sergio said Boots looks like he's in the Matrix, the way he's hitting Stanionis and getting out the way? And the other two commentators looked over at Sergio. It got very awkwardly silent. And I said live, I said, yeah, he gonna pay for that. He gonna pay for that shit. I don't know what they said to him, but when they did the post interview after the fight, Sergio was silent. Somebody came up to him and said something. I don't care. Y'all can't tell me. Y'all can't tell me they didn't. Go back and look at Boots versus Stanionis. Just watch the fight. Watch Sergio from the beginning and then watch him doing the post interview. There is a code that they have. This is the irrefutable truth. And that might be a topic for another day. But tomorrow, I'm going to have the interviews. I'm going to play them. And I'm calling these hypocrites out. I thought we were going to be able to have at least a week to enjoy our brother's victory. Not just our brother's victory, to enjoy a great weekend of boxing for us who love the sport. Whether you white, black, or Mexican, or Asian. If you love the sport of boxing, you love this weekend. But we already have agents of chaos that look like me taking one clip where Canelo lands a right hand and saying that this was the whole fight. These are the kind of people I have to deal with. One of the prophets of God speaks about the thorn, a thorn in his side. Now, in the spiritual context, that thorn is speaking about a spiritual thorn. It's talking about a habit that you're trying to overcome. And anyone who has ever had a habit, you know how hard it is to get over that habit. It takes a lot of discipline. And sometimes it takes a lot of redos. These coons are the thorn in my side. They are the thorn in my side. But if we don't speak up, people are going to think we're all like that, and I'm not going to have it. Patrice X said, even after Tarver bashing Dev, I bet Tarver gets reprimanded because he was rooting for Crawford too much. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. And I wouldn't be surprised if something was said to Ward. Because Ward wasn't himself. Even after Crawford won, Ward was not himself. Y'all go back and look. Coach ain't led you wrong yet. When I do, I say, man, my bad. But I ain't led you wrong yet. All of these damn hypocrites who were trying to lynch in the media Wilder, who were trying to lynch, not trying, they were taking Devin Haney up through there, who is literally right under Crawford, in my opinion, one of the best slick fighters in American boxing. So how are you same dudes who were hating on Devin now allies of Crawford? Nah, bro, we gonna get into it tomorrow. Tomorrow, 8 p.m., we bring in the receipts. We bring in the receipts tomorrow. Dark Ken said, I'm already hearing some brothers downplaying Bud's legacy. After the fight, now Bud needs to fight Benavidez to further prove he's a great fighter. I'm telling y'all, family, I believe. I didn't used to believe in this, but I'm gonna tell y'all something that I truly believe in. I truly believe that in the Holy Scriptures, when it speaks about certain wicked bloodlines, the older I get, I believe in it. Because I'm starting to realize that some of these people, it has to be in them. You can point out the truth all you want. It's in them. They see their brother do great. Let me show you the difference. Canelo goes up to be great, right? And he gets beat by Bivol. Bivol puts a whooping on Canelo. And I think Canelo needs to rest. But Bivol puts a whooping on Canelo. You know what the Mexican people say? Let me tell you what they say. They say, our champion, one of our greatest warriors, went up to fight Bivol to be great and he lost. It's all good. We still support him. He's still one of the greatest. He's still one of our greatest. But you see us? You see some of our brothers? No, man. You know, that ain't enough. He got to go get Benavidez now for me to call him great. Man, nigga, F you. F. Y'all know I'm trying to get my life right with God. But these Sambo brothers, they really do pull out the worst. Yeah, we got a brother at 50, I don't think not only do I not think they want another 50-0, they don't want another Bud Crawford. There are people who say a fighter like that is a threat. Okay, Patrice X said Yeshua seemed to know it, to in John 8:44 saying they come from father of lies. Yep. In the scriptures. Jesus is having a conversation with the Pharisees and the priests, the Jewish ones. And he said, if you love my father, you will love me. He said, if you love my father, you love me, but you are not of my father. You are of your father, the devil, who was a liar and a murderer from the beginning. Something along those lines. A liar and a murderer from the beginning. So now we're having this spiritual battle in the sport of boxing. See, I don't think people understand how powerful it is to see what we saw over the weekend. Fights like that can bring respect amongst clans that have been warring for decades. That is how powerful the sport of boxing is. Prove it, coach. Prove what you're saying. Before Muhammad Ali came into boxing and said, I'm pretty, I'm beautiful, I am the greatest, black athletes were scared to talk like that because people would be hung when black athletes were victorious. Go look up the history. Don't believe, coach. Go look up the history. Look at the time that went by between Jack Johnson and Joe Louis and find out the reasons why. So it matters. It matters. So like Delano said, not only do they not want to see a 50-0, they don't want great Mexican fighters and great black fighters putting on a show like that, and where we're standing side by side, standing up, clapping our hands. Now let me show you all something. Let me show you all how I am diplomatic, but still on code. Even though that happened, I am under no illusion of inclusion. Even though that happened, I still know that there are racist Mexicans working at the head of the WBC. I still know that there are racist white commentators who hate us just off the fact of us being black. I know that. But I also know it ain't everybody. But I don't go on a campaign to argue with my brother and say, well, it ain't all of them. What did Ali say? If 1,000 snakes are coming down the aisle and 100 of them are good, do I let them all come down and see which 100 are good, or do I close the door and keep them out until we get some straightening? Ali was before his time. I agree with Ali. Let's close the door until we figure our stuff out first and get this thing together. Man, y'all not with us. Y'all not with us. Y'all are against us. And when I say y'all, and y'all trying to figure out who coach is talking about, right now I'm talking about the same hypocrites who were dragging all of our fighters just a month ago. Now they with us, and you know what's so disgusting? Our people are they all in the comment section. Cool. And one guy I don't even speak on anymore, because I told you all last month I ain't speaking on the dude anymore, because y'all gonna get what you deserve vouching for him. But let me say this. Let me read these chats real quick. Them folks don't want to see the phenomenal great Black Hope, but too late. Bud Crawford already did it. And family, not only did Bud do it, he actively had the elites in the sport of boxing trying to keep it from happening. American boxing, I would say British as well, but some of the racists in American boxing will have a great fighter just to shelve them. And we will say that that's our friend. We will still sign with them and say that's just business, do bad business, and sign with them again. That is a Stockholm Syndrome, plantation-minded business relationship. Dark Ken said a lot of these guys are fans of the fighter first instead of a fan of the sport of boxing first. And that's the problem. A lot of, man, great point, Dark Kent. A lot of brothers and sisters feel that we are unified enough to have tribal wars between ourselves because of the fighter that they like. Do you all not see that we can afford that? Do you all not see that we cannot afford for us to be beefing because you like Devin Haney more than Tank, or you like Tank more than Brian Norman Jr., or you like Shakur more than Keyshawn Davis, so much that when one of them are attacked and it's past boxing, that you say, okay, I don't care. Over the last year, that's why some of these brothers have been absent from the chats, who said that they were rooting. This is, listen to this. If I am on code, why do I need to say, hey man, I want Crawford to win, but you know, I'm looking at Canelo. Bro, we're going into battle. What are you talking about? We're going into battle. Get your weapons ready. I don't have time for you to be talking about me, well, man, I think the enemy, man, got a good chance of beating us. No. What I need you to do is get your inventory ready. I need you to do your PCCs and your PCIs, your pre-combat check and your pre-combat inspection. Make sure that your weapons work. Make sure you have all the inventory you need. Make sure you have the rounds you need. Make sure that your magazines don't get stuck. Make sure you have an extra pair of socks to put in your pants, cargo. Make sure you have an MRE somewhere just in case we get stuck out there for a week and there's no communications. This is where your mind needs to be. Not you trying to tell me, well, what if the enemy beats us? Well, what if the enemy got a good chance of beating us? Bruh, do you want to get back home or not? I'm sorry I got to talk to y'all like that. But that's how you have to talk to your brothers now. We cannot afford to be warring with each other. We should be sticking together. So tomorrow, family, at 8 p.m., yeah, we calling these hypocrites out. We calling these hypocrites out because ain't no way you with us now after what we allowed them to do over the last family. Now, I'm going to show y'all something. See, I said I ain't going to do it. Check this out, family. There is a guy that many brothers and sisters are all on his comment section saying he's welcome to the cookout after he ain't saying nothing that you ain't heard Champside say, that you ain't heard Drew say. Now check it out. In an interview that he did with Radio Raheem. See, y'all don't know. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that for tomorrow. Cause see, some of y'all, it's like you see what the enemy is doing. You see what's going on, and you still refuse. You still refuse to acknowledge that you shouldn't be as trustworthy because there are wolves in sheep's clothing, and they'll use y'all as a stepping stool. And guess what? When they get on that main stage, they ain't giving you no shout out. It's easy. It's easy for somebody to look like they're with us when they're shouting us out, when they're saying things that we like. But when they start getting a little bit more power, that's when you're going to find out. Howard Cosell is the foundation of a white journalist in a sport of boxing who is a true ally and friend to a black man. These other dudes that y'all trying to make them seem like they not with us. It's like, well, sometimes I want to hit y'all in the head and say, wake up. Just Man, open your eyes. I'm gonna tell y'all straight up. The state that black people are in right now, we need to have a national State of the Union black address and revoke them hoes. Nobody can pass out any cookout passes for the next 5 years. And if you do, if it look like you do, you will be reprimanded. You will be dealt with. And I know some people think, man, that's harsh, coach. Go amongst the Mexican people and be off code and see if they don't whoop your ass. Go amongst the Chinese and make it clear that you are an op to any of their great idols. They'll kill you. But see, some of y'all have so much hate for yourselves, you don't respect what your other brothers and sisters think about you as long as you can get your money. But tomorrow, y'all tune in. Tomorrow, 8 p.m., Coach is going live. And this is what I'm going to start doing, family. Go to my page. Because YouTube, because I was shadow banned, go to my page, click on the notify me button. So I'm going to start putting my lives a few hours before, a day before, so that we can cook at the same time. All right? But I'm going to give you all some homework to do. All these guys who are now praising Crawford, praising the slick black American fighter, who was just calling us runners and calling us cowardly and calling us this and that, I want you to go look at the interviews. Now, this is easy. I'm giving y'all the answers. Go look at the interviews that they did when the racist rants was going on. And start, I'm going to tell y'all where to go to. Start when Tio said you all can have the black fighters. Start there and look at what these journalists were saying. And then tomorrow, 8 p.m., tune in and we're going to talk about it. Patrice X said, YouTube still don't send notifications, so when you post it as a premiere, that helps. Okay. Post it as a premiere. Okay. I'll try that. I just figured out how to do the schedule live thing. So Delano said a lot of this crap is happening to us because we don't pay attention as a collective. Exactly. We don't pay attention as a collective, and we're too busy warring with each other. That's why when the first night, well, the first day really, I didn't even address the tank tweet that day because I was like, you know what, y'all, we're going to deal with that later. We'll deal with that later on in the week because this weekend, man, we cheering our brother on all weekend. We're celebrating our brother all weekend. Salute Stormy B, man, in the house. My brother Drew Titan in the house. Family that's just coming in, I was just talking about the hypocrites who were just calling us runners, who were just calling us yellow, who were just calling us Tom and Jerry runners, are now praising black American boxing because it is no longer profitable for them to push the propaganda of the racist narrative that was going on. See, now Ryan Garcia want to make up with Dev to make a fight happen. See, now Tio is who saw what Tio said to Crawford in the post press conference? Tio said, Crawford said, hey man, you gonna fight my brother or not? You gonna sign the contract or not? And Tio said, man, I can fight your brother right now. And Crawford said, you gonna get your ass whooped, but are you gonna sign this contract? Ain't nobody playing with them. See, that's how he should have been addressed in the first place. You seen the way Matias slapped the glasses in the head off his face? That's how that should have been handled. See, I'm gonna tell y'all something. You all have to stop falling for the okie doke. You have to stop being bamboozled and hoodwinked over and over again with these wannabe Larry Merchants, these Max Kellermans in training, these self-hating, wannabe Jason Whitlocks, out of shape, insulin resistant, spineless, gutless Negroes. You have to stop letting them play you. Listen to me, family. You might not like a fighter. Let's say, let me give you an example. Let's say for whatever reason, you don't like Bill Haney. For whatever reason, you don't like Brian Norman Sr. For whatever reason, you don't like Schofield Sr. Fine. Fine. When you see that man in person, try to have a conversation with him. If you can't, it ain't that serious. But as soon as they put one of our brothers on the proverbial lynching post, it's on go. We should not allow that. Plain and simple. We shouldn't allow it, because you know what? Ain't nobody else, no other race is going to let you all drag theirs. And that's facts. I know some of y'all don't like that, but that's a fact. Some of y'all do not like when people call you out, because it forces you to be accountable. It forces you to be accountable about being on code as a man. Well, coach, I'm not pro-black and I don't, I just want to keep it by. Shut up. Shut up. Get back up under your blanket, toot your butt up in the air and go to sleep. That's all you good for. Pause. That's all you good for. Let the soldiers go out in the field and fight. But when all the fighting is done, don't come outside like you was with us. See, that's my problem. Those of you that have been against this from the beginning, now y'all want to come outside and act like you with us. Patrice X said, you're going to have to break down how these two-faced devils play these naive brothers in their face in an episode one day. They refuse to see it. Oh, brother, tomorrow at 8, I'm going in. Tomorrow at 8, I'm going in. I got to make it plain. I have to make it plain on the hypocrites and the brothers that let the hypocrites play with them. Because it's not so much about calling those out who are not in our community. The problem is you all allowed them to come back among us after not being on code or being an ally. They can't be on code, but not being an ally. The way Howard Cosell was an ally to the great Muhammad Ali. And that's all a fact. Eric Jordan said Teofimo should have fought Mr. Rockin'. I'm going to tell y'all this. As long as we disrespect each other, as long as we allow racists to come back among us and give us a punk ass apology. T.O. really ain't never really gave no real apology. Ryan ain't really gave no real apology. He just blamed it on something else. See, when they disrespect us and it gets racial, they should have to sit down with one of our scholars and get publicly, verbally destroyed and made an example out of. Then we'll hear your apology, but then we're going to put you on a time block where now we have to watch you. Like Matthias slapped T.O. right across his face for playing with him. But what I want to know is all of you. Where are all the brothers? Where they at? Where are all the brothers who said, well, they want Crawford to win, but they're rooting for Canelo, or they got Canelo? If that was true, how come y'all not out here celebrating with me? You damn Judas. If that's true, how come I ain't seen a lot of y'all on any of the brothers' channels celebrating? But last week, everybody, everybody was present on Drew Titan's channel, on the General's channel. Y'all were on Champside's channel. Y'all were on BFTB's channel. Y'all were everywhere present talking, running your damn mouths. So if you really was rooting for the brother, how come we ain't seen y'all? See, you all have to start thinking tactically. You all have to start thinking psychological with grown men. Because if a grown man moves like a Judas, that grown man will set you up in the long run. You're not gonna get over on me. You're not gonna get over on me. My upbringing, the way I was shaped and formed in my mind, I don't move as easily as a lot of you brothers. A lot of these brothers that I'm talking about among us, these are the same brothers that had a problem with any of us having honor in the Black American boxing style. But now, because you all see a white man say it, they're invited to the cookout and you knew they was so real and this, that, and the third, and now they getting all these followers and that's fine for them. Get your money. Do your thing. But I'm talking about us. What are we doing, y'all? So moving forward, I mean this. You have to have the same grace you have. If you have more grace for your enemy than your brother, something's wrong with you. Don't talk to me. It was people at the fight wearing, the Blame Bill Haney shirts. And I said, okay. But nobody wants to give Bill Haney props for putting the idea in Crawford's head to fight and beat Canelo. See, you all like the fruit, but you hate the tree. You all like the fruit that the tree bears, but you hate the tree. You want to cut down the tree and keep the fruit for yourselves. We are dealing with the principalities of darkness and spiritual wickedness. This is a spiritual, moral, and physical battle that we are in. Patrice S. said, we got to make them go on an apology world tour like them other people do. Make them visit our Holocaust museums and all of that. That's a fact. That is a fact. But all they got to do is smile in our face, give a little interview, and we cool with it. Nah, fam. Coach ain't with that. Coach ain't with that. And I'm gonna say this as well. Y'all know I'm proud of Bud. I rooted for Bud. But Bud Crawford, you the man now. Moving forward, and this is my opinion, and this is straight from my heart. Brother, we proud of you, Bud. And you the man now. You earned that. No more Eminem walkouts. No more Desperado walkouts. Brother, you need to be walking out how M. Billy walked out. To the drums of the Zulu. Not saying you have to use that exactly, but brother, you need to represent your culture now. Because when, enough of us was rooting for you, brother. Enough of us was right there with you the whole time. And I can't speak for everybody else, but I can tell you what. You all go watch that live the brother Drew Titan did that Friday last week. I put out a war call to us. I put out a war call and said, black man, wake up. Do not apologize for standing up. That's right, Patrice X. If Clarissa can play the Black National Anthem, lift every voice and sing around this MFer, why can't these other fighters get on cold? So, hey, I'm proud of the brother Bud. But Bud, you the man now. You the A-side now. Do not compromise. Do not compromise. Do not compromise, brother. All your events moving forward should be extra black. Extra black. Not only that, bud, hey man, come on out to the cities. Come on out to the East Coast. The brothers would love to see you, and we're going to sell it out. Go on out there to the Midwest. I promise you, we'll sell it out. But to our other brothers, all of that you all putting on the Mexican colors, you all coming out to their music. Look, family, the Mexican people have a great culture. They own code. They don't need you to help. But you know who does need help when it comes to identity? The so-called YN. The misguided young brothers in the community who do not see a positive role model. They need to see you coming out to those Zulu drums. They need to see you coming out to James Brown. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. I was talking to our brother Stormy B Man one day. It's probably one of the first times I went on this channel. And I was talking about how in Chicago, when I was a kid, before we moved back down south, when I was a kid in Chicago, you felt proud to be black. It don't matter if it was a gangster on the street, whether you ran into a four-corner hustler, gangster disciple, vice lord. It didn't matter if you ran into the Nation of Islam, the El Rukin, your working everyday black man. You felt safe. They made sure that you were straight. And you knew about your people and what we've been through. We used to have to memorize Lift Every Voice and Sing, first grade. Lovett Elementary School, West Side Chicago. That's why Coach is the way he is. Because those Black Panthers were still around when I was a kid. A lot of them were in their 50s and 60s. Yeah, a lot of them were in their 50s and 60s. And still were preaching the good word. And I had a thought then. I realized, shoot, we are that generation now. We have to be the ones. We got to be the ones to instill it into the young warriors. It's us now. This is why Coach gets so frustrated when I'm talking to a grown man trying to explain to me why he don't want to be on code. When I'm speaking to a grown man trying to explain to me how you gonna take race out of something you don't have the power to take race out of. So we have to instill that into our youth. And don't ever feel ashamed to do it. But tomorrow, I'm calling out the hypocrisy, 8 p.m. I'm calling it out. Now, I want to ask y'all a question before I go, because this just popped into my head. Who do you all see Canelo fighting next? Honest question. Who do you all see Canelo fighting next? I don't know why this crazy thought just popped into my head. But after that performance Billy had with Martinez, who thinks Billy and Canelo might fight? I don't know. I could see that. I could see that. Because, and the only reason why I say that is Billy showed his, like the Sensei Stormy B Man would say, he has showed his dimensions. Huh? He has showed his dimensions. So for those of you who have never heard Stormy B Man explain this, go to Stormy B Man's channel. He has a video where he explains the dimensions of a fighter. And when I saw Billy in trouble, and I saw what he kept running into. Now, I don't know if Eddie Reynoso can pull this off, but I know some coaches will look at that and say, yeah, we can get him. We see what his weakness is. I think Billy's a two-dimensional fighter. Canelo might be a 3. Dark Ken said for Canelo to get past this embarrassment, it should be Benavidez. Nah, he ain't gonna fight Benavidez next. I don't see that happening. He's not gonna fight Benavidez next. And if he does fight Benavidez next, unfortunately, I see Canelo. I see Canelo trying to put Benavidez on a catch weight. See, what we have to remember is, Benavidez is still getting older. The weight, it gets harder to cut. And one thing about Canelo, he has done a great job, at least his handlers have done a great job on picking who he should fight and when to fight him. But family, I've been on here for a minute. I appreciate everybody that came through. I mean, the family really came through. Stormy B Man, Patrice X, Eric Jordan, Dark Kent, Ratchet since 91 came through. I mean, the family really came through to rock with me. My brother Drew Titan, Delano came through. Let's see who else came through. I know a lot of people came through. These are just the subscribers that could talk. D-Man Jr., Kondo came through. Eric Jordan. I think I said Eric Jordan. So Ratchet since 91. Shout out to everybody that came through. I'm going to see you all tomorrow, 8 p.m. We're going to get into some of these journalists, so-called journalists, so-called true tellers of the sport. And they're really liars. They're not of us. All right, peace to the family, peace to my comrades, and it's always smoke to the COINTELPRO boxing fan. I got to get back on my job and rebuke you all from the sport, the righteousness of the integrity of the sweet science. Peace.